I grew up in Jamaica. It's a beautiful island with a lot of energy, vibrancy, creativity, very colorful and culturally rich place. It shaped a lot about me, right? So the way I speak, accent, slang, mannerisms, the way I carried myself, even the music and the food that I would end up loving, were all pieces of this vibrant culture that kind of surrounded me every day. It was home, it was familiar, and it was everything I knew, to be honest. But as I look back, I can pinpoint moments when my world began to expand, when my understanding of life became bigger than the island I was born on. I remember when we first got cable TV at home, and I was watching like US shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Saved by the Bell. But through the screen, I kind of glimpsed a different way of life. It wasn't better or worse than my life. It was just different. And that difference kind of intrigued me a little bit. I'll never forget the day my brother brought home like a cassette of the Fugees, the Score album. That was probably my introduction to hip hop, like as a full album or project. Beats, stories, the energy kind of opened my ear to something I didn't always hear, in Jamaica. At least I didn't always hear. I remember when my uncle came down from California to visit and went to see him, and he got me Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video game on Dreamcast. Bust my head open, right? Like, blew my mind. It might sound strange, but through that video game, I discovered a lot of rock music, and suddenly like bands I didn't really hear about before just became like a part of the things that I would hum or sing along like in school. Just throughout the day, it just became like a part of the things that I was aware of now. Punk rock and screamo bands and metal and all these things. Later on, as a teenager, I moved to New York for college. It was my first time experiencing winter. I remember I was 17 and I got off the plane in January. And if you know about winter time in New York, January is probably the worst time, like the coldest time. And I remember coming off the plane and stepping outside and not being able to speak because it was so cold, right? And physically just understanding what that was like was crazy to me because I grew up in such a warm climate. I would just never really had to, except maybe Christmas time, it might get a little breezy, but you never really had to put on a jacket like that for survival, you know? And I remember seeing snow for the first time. Up until that point, I'd only seen it like TV, maybe like Christmas movies or things like that, like Home Alone, something like that. So actually experiencing what it was like was a new thing for me physically as well. I remember tasting authentic Italian food for the first time, savoring every bite. It just wasn't something I was used to. Each of these moments was like a window opening that taught me something simple yet profound. Not everybody lives the way that you do, and that's a beautiful thing. Why does that matter? Experiencing other cultures changes you in ways that are hard to put into words. It makes you more understanding, more empathetic, and more curious about the world. It teaches you that your way of life, while valid and meaningful, is just one among many. Traveling to new places, meeting new people, immersing yourself in different ways of life doesn't just make you a better traveler, it makes you a better human. But even if you may not have the resources to travel right now, there are other ways you can bring the world a little closer to you. You can visit local fairs or cultural events. These spaces are often filled with, opportunities for you to get new experiences. You can try a dish you never had before. You might be surprised at how much a simple meal can teach you about a culture. You can listen to music or watch film from places you haven't been before. Art has a way of making you feel like you're there. The world that we live in is so vast and so rich. There are countless flavors to taste, songs to hear, dances to learn, and stories to understand. Experiencing other cultures doesn't just change how you see the world, it changes how you see yourself. It reminds you that we are all connected, that our differences actually make us stronger, And there is so much beauty to be found in the unfamiliar. So whether you're traveling across the world or just stepping into like a local festival, take the chance to learn, to listen, and to grow. You might just find that these experiences are some of the most meaningful of your life. Anyway, guys, that's it for today's video. If you found this helpful, drop a share, drop a like. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this, rubbish? Is there some truth to this? What do you think? I want to know. All right. Catch you in the next video. Peace.